Welcome to The Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is my boy, Bob Corwin. Did I say it right? Corwin.
Corwin, yep.
Corwin.
Yes.
All right, there we go. I said it right.
All right.
How you doing, Bob?
Good. Pleasure to be
Good,
here this
good.
morning.
Yes. All right. So, how was the drive in?
Okay. It was great. Yeah.
Good,
nice Sunday morning
nice
drive.
Sunday morning drive in.
Yeah.
All right. So, Bob, tell me a little bit about you. I know I kind of read some things, so I know, but I want to, for the audience, tell them your name, tell them your department, tell them how long you've been in, and any ranks that you've held.
Yeah. Bob Corwin. I'm Greenport Fire Department out on the eastern end of Long Island.
Okay. Out east, what's up? They're coming out. Getting the Suffolk guys out.
Been in 35 years. I've held the rank up to captain. I've been captain 3 times.
3 times
in my tenure.
Okay.
And hopefully looking to be chief soon.
Okay. Look at that. So we're going to take that step.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
Yep.
And you go there. And how many years?
35.
35 years.
Yeah, I got in when I was 17.
Wow.
I was actually a junior firefighter before then.
Okay.
So I had about 5 years.
So really 40 years if you want to count
Technically,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
want to count that. And I don't see why you wouldn't.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You want to count that. So 40 years in. I know you got some stories. 40 years in. Did it go like that? You look back and you're like, wow, 40 years ago, I had just started this career.
It did. It's hard to believe it's been 35 years. It doesn't feel like it some days it does, but it's been a good 40 years.
I love that. I love that. All right. So let's start from the beginning. What makes you want to become a firefighter?
Well, it's kind of the family business. My grandfather, he's an ex-chief from the 50s.
Okay.
So
of the same department?
Same department.
Okay.
Yep. My father was in. He made it to the rank of lieutenant.
Okay.
Then his best friend got killed in a line of duty death in our department. So he decided to take a step back for a little while.
Okay.
I got him back in once I got active, and he's been active ever since.
Okay.
And then my son's in, my wife's in, so it's kind of a
like
family
a real
affair.
Whole family. Yeah. We're gonna have to talk about some stories where you all were on a call together, because I know it's had to happen once or twice.
Oh yeah.
All right, but we're gonna talk about those. So really, you were born into this. There was no choice for you. It was you were.
Yeah, right. I was hanging out with my grandfather all the time. As far back as I can remember, I was running around the firehouse.
Okay.
My grandfather, my father, I had uncles in, their friends. So it was always something.
This was a part of everybody's life.
Yeah, every back in the day, every Sunday morning, the firehouse was full. The trucks were on the road, and things weren't as uptight. So 7, 8, 9 years old, I could ride the engine on a Sunday morning.
Right. On a Sunday morning to a call, you're just sitting in the back,
Exactly.
just waiting for them to finish the call.
Exactly.
It's different nowadays. We can't do those things, but yes. All right. So like I said, you were pretty much born to kind of do this. So
yeah, I really love the fire service. I'm so glad that my son also took to the fire service like duck to water. I mean, he was around with me a lot, and then I thought he was going to go his own way, and then he kind of doubled back and said he wanted to get in, and we got him in right away. Got him in as a junior like I did, and then got him in as a full-fledged member, and he's one of my best interior firefighters to this day.
Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. See? So, and it's funny that you say, like you said, your father was out, and then you coming in kind of ignited him back in and doing that. Yeah,
yep.
I love that. I love that. So, you're in the juniors. That's where we start. So you're in the juniors, and then you go from the juniors, and then you pick, I guess, is there companies? Because you said Greenport FD. So is there different companies?
There's 5 companies.
Okay.
My family's always been associated with the Relief Hose Company number 2.
Okay.
So that was my natural path.
So that was your path. Now, I got to ask, Bob, was there any thought of going to another company?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. It would have been a rough Thanksgiving if it was.
I can imagine, right?
Yeah.
Everyone there. So it was never a thought you were going to relief homes
Absolutely.
no matter what, that's where it was. Same thing with your son.
Yeah.
You wasn't trying to hear nothing else but that.
Yeah. He's actually my lieutenant right now.
Look at that. How is that dynamic?
Yeah.
How is that?
Yeah.
I want to ask him that, but I definitely got to ask you that.
He can give me orders at the fire scene now, so he's loving life.
I know he must be loving that. Does he say dad or does he say Bob?
He says dad.
He still says dad. Dad, go over there, go do this. Okay.
Yep.
That is funny. All right. So, you're in the juniors, right? So did you have any ranks in the juniors or?
Yeah, the juniors were set up just like a company.
Okay.
We had, captain, first lieutenant, second lieutenant, treasurer, secretaries, and then we had advisors that worked with us who were members of the fire department.
Okay.
Back then we were lucky enough to have each company had at least one advisor. So we had at least 5, usually 10 adults helping us with our trainings, our fundraisers, running our meetings.
Okay.
We had our own meeting night on the calendar. Everybody knew that the juniors met, on the third Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. We were a legit company for the department.
Okay. And then you move over into being, when you turn 18, you
actually
go over to...
our rules are if you're a junior for at least a year, you can get in at 17.
Wow. Okay.
So the juniors age out at 17. For a while, there was a year gap. We were losing people. So the department changed it. So I actually got in at 17, which was great.
17. So 17, go into relief hose. Let's talk about a story. First fire. Do you remember?
First fire was prom night.
Okay. Prom night.
Prom night.
Your prom night.
My prom night.
Oh, I gotta hear this one. So you're 17.
Yep.
Prom night comes. Did you pick up your date at least?
Which was my current wife now, who she's actually 2 years older than me. So she was out of school.
Okay.
She was also in the department at the time.
She was in the department.
Yep.
Well, that right there is a relief, right? Because then she understood. But let's keep going.
Yep. So we're out. Prom's over. We're doing after prom things at one of the beaches, and pager goes off. Comes in as a structure fire. We turned to leave the beach we were at, and you could see the fire.
So
we knew it was work.
And now she's in the same department.
Same department, same company.
Oh, so y'all are responding together for prom.
Absolutely. She's one of our ex-captains in the company.
Okay.
And the guy we were hanging out with was a chief from Orient Fire Department.
Okay.
So he sees it. He's ready to go too.
He's ready to go.
Yep.
Everybody's like, this is a great prom. This makes the prom even better.
So we
get to get some fire at the end of it.
We shoot to the firehouse. We staff our truck. We get it out the door. One of the kids that was in my class, he hadn't made it home to change yet, so he's in his tux. And
I hope it wasn't rented.
It was a white tux.
Wow.
And it was gray at the end of the night.
It sure was. And it wasn't even a thought in his mind about that tux. I ain't worried about it. We're going to this fire.
Exactly.
Take this place off and we're in there.
Yep.
Wow. I love that. I love that. That must have been one night. Did y'all take any pictures? I had to.
Oh, yeah. Yep. But back then it's all on on film. There was no cameras, so there wasn't a whole lot of pictures, but there are some floating around.
Pictures.
Yep.
So, but we got to really talk about, just the fact that your wife is in, your father's in, your son is in, you're in. Like that, first of all, in a whole has to be fun, right?
It is. It is.
Sunday morning, is that when everybody kind of gets together? Because sometimes people do different Saturday or Friday.
We used to do Sunday mornings. That's kind of fallen off a little bit. We're trying to bring that tradition back.
Okay.
So now we're just pretty much, with group me and stuff like that. Everybody gets on and says, hey, anybody around tonight? We're going to meet at the firehouse.
Kind of get all together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then, the first Monday of the month is traditionally our meeting night. So we always meet that night. Basically, it's a family reunion.
Okay.
Because I've got a cousin as well. There's
I
think there's 6 Corwins on the sign-in sheet.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I can imagine. So I'm thinking like some of my meetings where it gets heated sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Are you all always on the same page?
No.
Or is there any time where you're like at a meeting and you're like
Yeah, no. Luckily, we're on the same page more often than not.
Did not?
But there's times where we're exchanging not so niceties to each other.
I can imagine. And then you got to go home and sit and eat dinner with everyone. And it's just like, no, I remember that. Don't even try to act like that.
Yeah. Luckily, we're good about what goes on at the firehouse kind of stays there. We might talk a little bit about it after, but it's all good.
All right. So a call comes in. Like, I assume everyone's in the car together, right?
Yeah, a lot of times, me, my wife, and my son will jump in the same vehicle, depending on which one's first in the driveway. It might be two vehicles going. Okay. And, my wife's a paramedic, so she has a sign-on number. I'm an EMT, so I have a number, and my son's a lieutenant, so he has a number. So one person will just sign three people on at the same time.
Just say we're on there. Yep. Listen, Corwins are on the way.
Well, that's funny because one of our dispatchers, because Southwell Town Police dispatches us, one of those dispatchers is actually a company member.
Okay.
And when we sign on, she actually giggles and says the Corwins are en route.
But I mean, really, with all of you, you can roll a rig. You can get it going. Like, you don't even need anyone else. We go there. The Corwins are here. They're there. Y'all just come to the call at this moment. We got the rig here. We got the paramedics here. We got everything.
All three of us.
Officer, sitting officer.
All three of us are interiors. All three of us are pump operators. So, and my son drives the ambulance, so we can be an ambulance crew. We can be an engine crew. Yeah. Yep.
Listen. Really, thank you for your service, your family. Like, thank you for real. I know. Wow.
My son's fifth generation, so he almost didn't have a choice.
Yeah, he did. He was going to do this. He was going to do this no matter what. I mean, listen, he really didn't have a choice when mom and dad are doing this. It's like, you're coming over here. So let's get into some stories. Like, what stories do you have? Do you have any stories of all of you all together at a call?
One funny story. We weren't all.
In the heart of Blue Point, New York, the Johnny Mac Foundation stands as a beacon of hope and resilience. Founded in memory of FDNY firefighter John F. McNamara, who lost his life to 9/11 related cancer, this foundation embodies his enduring motto, whatever it takes. To supporting first responders and their families, the Johnny Mac Foundation is committed to making a long-lasting impact. Join us in honoring John's legacy and making a difference. Visit at johnnymacfoundation.org to learn more and contribute.
We weren't all on a call, but my son's a senior.
Okay.
They're getting ready to go on a senior trip to the aquarium in Riverhead. They had some extra money, so the kid's like, let's just blow it in Riverhead.
Atlantis, right? That's there.
Atlantis.
I love that place, man. That place is huge. I love it.
So we get a work and fire.
Okay.
Two houses next to each other going.
Wow.
You can actually see it from where they're loading the bus. So the principal's out there. He calls my cell phone. Okay. And I saw who it was, and I knew we had a working call. So all I did was I picked up the phone, and I said, yes. Let him go.
Because that's what he was calling for.
Right.
Like,
and it's funny
can he go?
Because my wife's at work, and the teacher, or I don't know if it was one of the teachers or one of the chaperones, whatever, calls her. Same exact answer.
Same thing.
Yes, let him go.
Can Rob go? Can he go?
So I got a picture of him up on top of our engine, running the deck gun, knocking the fire down, and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was one funny story. How
did your your wife get there, or she was at work?
We were both working.
Okay, you were both working. So it was just like they called to see if we could release Rob.
Absolutely,
let him go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
He ended up catching up with his class later on after everything was knocked down. But it's still a small community out there. The teachers and the administrators know everybody for the most part, so stuff like that happens a lot. When I was in, I had a few teachers that were in neighboring departments, so every time the whistle would blow, they would just give me a nod, and out the back door I'd go.
And you're going.
Yeah.
All right, so what other stories do you got? What else you got for me? But again, do you have any stories with all four of you all together?
Well, EMS calls, it happens all the time because we run an ambulance in our department.
Okay.
And she was captain of the ambulance up until April. Then she decided, she did her 2.5, 3 years as captain, or 2 years, whichever it was. She's also our paramedic. So numerous EMS calls where Bobby's driving, me and the wife are in the back, and my father's now fire police. So
he's
in the
making
street.
way.
He's in the street directing traffic, and we were bringing somebody out, and my wife says, "Oh, this, just so you know, this is my husband. He's gonna be riding with us as well." "Oh, that's great." She says, "Oh, and my son's driving." And as we wheel her out of the house, we pass my father, and she goes, "Oh, that's my father-in-law." Yeah, yep. So yeah, we do that a lot.
That would honestly, sick or not, I would probably be laughing. I'd be like, "Wow, now I feel comfortable." Though
it helps ease people a lot.
Yeah. I got a bunch of people that I know for a fact can work together.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of work out there. We have sporadic. We do a lot of mutual aid calls. So there's times where we'll be going on a mutual aid call. We were actually covering for Riverhead for the county drill a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I was the operator, also the captain, because I used to work for Riverhead, so I know the district really well. So they were like, even though you're a captain, we're going to let you drive. That way it was no.
Okay.
So at the end of the night, they're like, "Hey, can you guys hang for another hour?" And it was me, my son, my current captain, Sam Smith, who's a great guy, and a couple other people who are new to the department. And I'm like, yeah, you guys want to hang out? And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is great. We've done more in Riverhead than we've done all week in Greenport." So the last call was a motorcycle accident, and my son was supposed to be the operator for that one. I'm like, "You can take the last call in the district. Get you." And when that came in, he's like, "We got to get there fast. I'm going to let you drive." We got there. Me and Sam took care of the patient. My son, who was second lieutenant at the time, he grabbed the other two who were kind of new to the department, took them under his wing, showed them, they had to secure the motorcycle, had to secure the car that was hit, and then worry about crowds.
Yeah.
Because it was outside a neighborhood, and you look over and it looked like people waiting for concert tickets. There were so many people around. Yeah. But it all worked out well. For us.
For you all.
Yeah. Yep. Because I knew I had a good guy crew with me doing patient care. I had a good crew outside doing what they need to do at an accident site, stuff like that. So
I love that. So before we get into another story, I just want to, I was looking at your Instagram and I saw a lot of like racing things. Can you explain a little bit what that is before we get into a story?
I've always loved Riverhead Raceway.
Okay.
My father raced there in the late 80s, early 90s in a division that they don't have anymore called the Charger division, which is kind of like a stock car.
Okay.
Now my son, he races in what's called the Super Pro Truck division.
Okay.
Which is like a late model stock car, but with a truck body on it.
Okay.
So we're at the track a lot. I also work for Riverhead Ambulance. I do event coverage for them.
Okay.
And they staff the track. They want to pay me to go watch races. I'm your guy.
I'm doing it. Let's do it. I'm the guy to do it. Because I did see that. I saw a lot there. I saw a couple of the cars and the trucks that were out there. Some of them actually saw it said Greenpoint FD on it. Some of them. Yeah.
Yep. So. That was because they have like what's called enduros, which is like a demolition derby, except you go around for 40 laps.
Okay.
And my son ran a couple of those on first responder night.
Okay.
So we decorated the car up with Greenport Fire Department and stuff like that.
And is your wife there? She's kind of into that too.
She is
watching. Okay.
She's ran a couple of enduro races herself back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So
you are one lucky guy, man.
I'm blessed. Norma.
Like you're like, listen, man, you're a lucky guy to have Norma because
I'm blessed.
A lot of people don't, especially in relationships in the fire department, if one is not in, they don't understand what we do, why we do, why the dedication is so much, to a volunteer organization. They just don't get it. So for you to have Norma, she understands. Yeah. She overstands it because she was a captain.
Right. Exactly.
So she's just as crazy as the rest of us.
Rescue captain, engine captain, you name it.
She fully gets it. Yeah. I love that. that. But let's talk a little bit more about you when it comes to the, you running for leadership roles. Like you started juniors and then, you came in. What made you say you want to take that leap where I want to go into leadership? Obviously starting at lieutenant, then going up to captain.
I enjoy training. I enjoy training people. Okay. So I felt that if I wanted to help the company, my next step would be get into office, figure out what the second lieutenant does, try to do that job to the best of my ability, try to lead by example.
Okay.
Of course, it doesn't always happen.
Of course not. Yeah.
And then just move on up. When I was captain, I got a really good chance to do a lot of training as as being a company captain.
Okay.
My company, really, I have a good group of people that do like to train, you know, so which is great. And now, my son, my current captain, Sam, they all came in on the same Firefighter 1 class.
Okay.
So I've got those two. I just got 2 more out of Firefighter 1, which enjoy training. My current second lieutenant, he was in between the 2 Firefighter 1 classes that I had come through. So he's also another guy. So I have a nice, strong 10, 12 people right now that really love to train. Okay. So as a captain, I felt that, well, I'm gonna take over the role as our training leader. That way I can maybe push these guys in the right direction, because today's generation is so phone orientated. Everybody wants to take selfies, and you know, they're the hardest thing for training is the 30-second TikToks, because if you talk to them longer than 30 seconds, they want to swipe you. Yeah.
They want to just be like this. They can't. The attention span is not there.
Right. So I started with them with small bites, and then now I just make it longer, a little bit longer, and
keep them engaged.
Yeah.
Keep them engaged. All right. So, let's get into another story. What other stories you got for me, Bob? I know you got some more.
We had a pretty gnarly boat accident. The lady got hit by a propeller.
Wow.
And they brought him over from.
Now, hit by a propeller. Do you know the story? Was she in the water?
She was in a chair. She was in a chair. The husband who was operating the boat put the power, and the chair base actually broke off, and she rolled backwards out of the boat. And her arm got caught in by the propeller. So they got her back into the boat. They boogie into our side of the bay. Okay. And we get there. I go down on the boat. I come back off the boat, and I says, "We need to get Norma down on the boat
right now."
I said, "This was well above my EMT, and I know my limit, and that was it.
And that was it. Right.
That was it." She went down there, did her thing, called for a helicopter. So we had enough other EMTs and stuff like that. So I went and secured the landing zone for them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just, we work really well together on an EMS call. Yeah. You know, we do on a fire scene too. We just don't get enough of them.
As many as.
Yeah. I always say that we're an ambulance company that puts out an occasional fire.
Because you get so much. People don't realize how many of those, you know, ambulance calls come through these fire departments.
Yeah, I know.
It's so many. It's like, wow. But, wow. That's a lot to see that. Yeah. Was it off?
It was
still on, hanging.
Yeah.
Hanging?
Yeah. It was pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I know you were just like, wow.
Yeah, it was that much. Yeah.
All right. What else? I know you got another story. Any other stories?
Training. You know, we always go to Yaphank. That's our training center.
Okay.
The Suffolk County Fire Academy. So we're always all teamed up there. And so it's, you know, I've got pictures of my wife and son going through the door together. There's a picture of all 3 of us going through the door together, which is cool. And when we're in there, we'll kind of rotate off who's got the nozzle, who doesn't. Where if it wasn't family, you're not getting the nozzle from me. I don't care if it is training.
It doesn't matter. I'm taking it.
Yeah. If there's
the
fire,
only reason you got it because you're my son or my wife. That's
exactly.
It.
Training or not, if there's fire, right, exactly. Sure, right? Yeah. There's a little bit left in the corner here. You can have the nozzle.
I know it must feel good for your father as well to watch that, to maybe be on the, you know, pump, and he's watching you all. It
makes him nervous.
Yeah, you know, I can imagine.
Yeah, just like it makes me nervous watching him, you know, them go in.
Yeah.
But they get it.
They get it. They all get it. I mean, they're all nervous too as they watch you.
Absolutely.
As they watch you going. So you had mentioned something about, you know, do you do water rescues as well? Like
we do. Okay. We have a marine rescue squad that I'm so busy with the engine and the ambulance. Mm-hmm. I'll help them when I can, but I'm not a dedicated member to the Marine Rescue Squad.
Okay.
But I'm a support member. We have a UTV, so if they need that to the scene, I'll bring that down to them. Okay. Stuff like that.
Okay, so that's
But we're looking at getting a grant for a new boat. Okay. It was nice enough where the former Southtown supervisor, the police were surplusing one of their boats. They didn't get any bids on it.
Okay.
So between casual conversation, I let him know that, hey, you know, the boat we have is kind of dangerous. And he says, well, let me talk to the mayor and the incoming supervisor. We'll see if we can't work a deal. So we worked a deal on it's an older boat, but it's in really good shape. And it's perfect for what we need right now while we're trying to get a grant for a new boat.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right. So let's keep going. I got a question for you. All right, Bob, I got a question. What is one common myth that you would want to debunk about firefighting? One common myth.
The drinking.
Okay. Talk to me about
Everybody, you know, volunteer firefighters are all drunks. Mm-hmm. Well,
which is not true.
Not true at all. Especially this, I hate to use this phrase, this day and age, but this day and age, you know, there's so much going on. You know, do guys have a beer after a call? Or absolutely, everybody does. A plumber does, an electrician does. It's just, you know, but the thing that all we do is sit around the firehouse and drink. That's the 70s and 80s, which are long gone.
Yeah, it's not.
You know, it's not really happening that much.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you a question too, just kind of sidetrack. Like, for a living, what do you do? So
funny you say that. I just got hired on as South of Town fire marshal.
Oh wow! Look at that. So the reason why I asked that is because I always want to know: has the volunteer services helped you anyway in your actual career? And obviously,
absolutely.
It definitely has. So just explain that a little bit.
Well, because I was so interested when I was in school. My guidance counselors kind of pushed me towards going to school for fire sciences.
Okay.
Back in the, not to date myself, but you know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was only a handful of schools.
Okay.
So I ended up going to Eastern Kentucky University down in Richmond, Kentucky for their fire science program.
Okay.
At the time, and it still is one of the best fire science programs in the country.
Wow.
But as I was starting to finish school, I wasn't the best student, so all my general ed classes I wasn't really good at. All my fire stuff I was great at.
90s, hundreds,
right?
Because it's
so
what you wanted.
I ended up not getting a degree, but I got all the education of going to my fire science classes.
That's right, yeah.
And then just as I should have graduated is when all these other fire science classes exploded in all these other schools, and it saturated the market.
Wow. Okay.
So I came back to Long Island, took a step back, did a lot of different jobs, and then still heavy into the fire service though, you know, the whole time. Yeah. So I used what I learned down at college. Plus, while I was down at college, I was actually living in a bunk-in program for the local fire department down there, which was a very small department that covered a huge area. So,
which is, I mean, I've heard about it, but I had someone on, a guest that was telling me about that. Like, you know, the bunk in where you literally live at the firehouse. Yep. That's like a dream.
Absolutely.
Like, for people, like, well, especially a young person. What? But go ahead.
They assign us to one shift, but if you're in the building, you're rolling. Because they had a small number of paid personnel to cover 400 square miles. It was literally the county. They were a county fire department that covered 400 square miles. So I got a lot of fire down there.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of interesting things where, you know, up here, if it's burning, we got to dump water on it for days. Just whether it needs it or not, we're dumping like a mulch pile. We're gonna live at a mulch pile for days and waste resources at a mulch pile for days. We're down there. We had a barn that was well above our resources. So the captain's like, all right, you got the first 2 hours. He says, you got to hang out and watch, make sure it doesn't leave the property. In 2 hours, you're going to go tap that guy, wake him up. You're going to take a nap. And you just hang out and you wait, because eventually every fire burns down to your resources.
It's not going to have any more.
Right.
Yeah.
And
no more fuel after a while.
What was in the barn was gone anyway.
Yeah.
You know, there was no safe. That's like mulch. I don't understand these mulch fires where, you know, we'll spend a day on a mulch fire. It's like, why?
Why? Just let it burn out.
Exactly. So that was really different. 'Cause like I said, coming from Long Island, you put everything out. It don't matter what it is, you put it out. So I brought that back, and you know, and was kind of, you know, using that type of training of limited resources, which actually works out well now, because living on Long Island, everybody's got 2, 3, 4 jobs.
That's right. Yep.
Especially in the daytime, we have limited resources.
Yeah.
So now I've gotten used to working with 4 guys rolling up and that might be, you might get 2 more guys, so
you don't know what you'll get.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing when it comes to the volunteer services. But back
Yep.
to the fire marshal. So you're in doing that now.
Now I'm in doing that. I started part-time with them because I was actually looking just for a part-time gig to offset what I was doing, and they were looking for a code enforcement officer. After interviewing with the town attorney's like, why don't you hold off a little bit? He said, I'm going to put you, he said, I haven't forgot about you, but I think I got a better spot for you.
Okay.
And then they ended up, the fire marshal they had left to go to a different town. So then they brought up this part-time fire marshal. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I wasn't on the civil service list, so that kind of worked out being part-time.
Yeah.
I was in there for a few months, and then they decided to hire full-time. They exhausted the list. Didn't have anybody that wanted it. So then they come to me and said, hey, now that we've exhausted the list. So here I am now, the South Town Fire Marshal, going through all my classes, getting to take stuff I learned 30 years ago and now put it into theory.
Yeah.
And
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Well, congratulations,
thank you.
man. Congratulations.
It's going to be fun.
Guy. It's going to be real fun.
And like I tell all my, I call them customers because that's basically what they are. Everybody that I go and inspect, look, I want to do it through education. I'm not going to come down and here's a ticket for you, here's a ticket for you, because then you don't get anybody to work with you.
That's right. Yep.
You ignore me for 6, 7, 8 months, might have to have a different conversation. But right now we're going to try to do it with education.
Just trying to do it right. Let me show you. It's no big,
Right.
But if you're going to ignore me, then hey, listen,
Right.
sorry, I gotta.
And of course, the huge life safety things, that's a no-brainer. You got to get it fixed. I'll be back tomorrow to make sure you're working on it.
To make sure you got it.
But the normal code stuff, you can work with people, and I've already found out in my short tenure that they're willing to work with me now.
For the most part.
They'll give me a phone call instead of me having to chase them down all the time.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference right there. That makes it, people that want to ensure that this is done right? So you got to love that.
Talking to a couple of the fire chiefs, they like that I'm local and I know the fire service of South Old Town.
Okay.
Because as you know, every group's fire service is just a little, we're the fire service, but we're different.
Yeah, everything's always a little different. Yep. So, but that's good. Then you get to meet with them, learn their ways and things like that. So that's good. And all that does is expand your knowledge.
Yes,
no matter
absolutely.
What. Yeah. So 3-time ex-captain.
Yes.
We're going to chief, you said.
I hope so.
Definitely. We're gonna go.
I hope
we're gonna
so.
do it.
I'm running, so we'll see.
You're gonna run it.
Yep.
So I just want to ask a quick question but if you can remember from when you weren't captain to when you became captain, what was the biggest difference? And of course, this is in your company, right? So in your company, you're just a, black shield, I guess. I don't know if that's what you call them. Just you're a firefighter, and then you go into that leadership role, jumping to that lieutenant. What is the biggest difference?
Biggest difference is you can't just sit back and ask the questions. Now you're sitting up in front of the room and they're asking you the questions.
Right.
So you gotta, if you don't have the answers, you gotta know where to get the answers. And, my grandfather always told me, he says, if you know the answer, somebody else is going to have the answer. Tell them, give me a minute, let me find the answer, instead of trying to BS them.
Yep.
And because people can see through that.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that. And, you've got captains and chiefs today that just try to throw up that smoke screen and hope you go away.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I was always taught, somebody has the answer. Even if it takes a couple of days, let's look around and see if we can't find it.
Even if I got to hit the chat later,
right, exactly.
I'll get the answer for you.
We're not reinventing the wheel.
That's right.
It's
right.
Somebody's already done it. If you're thinking about it, somebody somewhere has done it.
Yeah, that's right. Someone has done it. So I got to ask, first time you get in, you captain, loving it.
Yep.
Then you say, I'm a little bit crazy. I'm going to do this again. And then you say, I'm a little bit even more crazy, and I'm going to do this for a third time. Where does that come in, and how does that happen? Are they consecutive? Are they different times? Okay.
They're spread out, and company pride.
Okay.
My company needed somebody to fill a spot, so I'm not gonna see my company flounder and not have people in the right roles.
That's right.
I'm there anyway. I'm showing up. I'm one of the highest responders anyway, so it's not like it added anything to my plate other than now I've got to be in charge of people.
You got to help out. So, I mean, it's funny because I would ask this question if your wife was not in, but your wife is in, because I was going to ask, how does she feel about 3 times in a row?
Yep.
But she understands. She's like, we need it. So
when I got
Was she ever like, dude, like, no, not again?
right now, she is.
She's like, not again.
Because she did her tenure as captain of the engine company, then went right over and did her second turn as rescue squad or ambulance captain. She was ambulance captain in mid 90s, and then she got out for a while because between work and stuff like that, and then she got back in because she knew that they had a need, that they needed leadership.
Yeah.
So she went over there. So she's done her 2 turns in the barrel with the ambulance and her turn in the engine company. And I've done my 3 because I followed her up.
Okay.
She was my first lieutenant, then my captain, because we both got in to fill spots for the company. And then when she got out as captain, I went in as captain for my 3rd term. And yeah.
Okay. But this time she's like, all right, okay, it's enough now, Bob.
Yeah.
It's enough now, Bob.
Right.
All right, so you know what we can do right now? We can get into a game we call the Flashover.
Uh-oh.
Bob, we can get into a game we call the Flashover. The Flashover, this is what we do in the Flashover. I ask you 2 questions, maybe Android app or something like that. You got to give me the answer pretty quick, all right?
Okay.
We'll maybe even talk about them a little bit. We'll do TV shows, we'll do movies, and then I got some little questions that I want to pepper in between there, all right?
Sure, sounds
all right,
good.
so, Cap, Bob, are you ready for the Flashover?
Bring it on.
All right, so let's get this going. My first question for you, you're at a parade. Do you drive the rig or drive the chief truck?
Drive the rig.
Drive the rig. Why are you driving the rig?
Louder. Louder's better.
Here we go. Louder is better.
My company's known for being loud.
I love that. All right, so brush fire or rocking dumpster fire?
Brush fire.
Brush fire. Why are we going brush fire?
Because dumpster fire, just leave it alone. It'll put itself out.
It'll eventually.
Brush fire.
Metal tin.
Yeah, brush fire. There's a lot of things. You got wind. There's a lot of factors to it that you got to think about.
You got to think about.
Yep.
That you got
you even got to think about the poison ivy that people don't think about. Breathing that in.
About that. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Basement fire, warehouse fire.
Basement fire.
Basement fire all the way.
Yep.
Go ahead. Tell me why.
Nice heat. You got to make a solid push.
Yeah.
You're at the top of the stairs or the bottom of the stairs because there's no in the middle.
Nope. Or you're sitting in a chimney.
Absolutely.
All right. Good question that I always wonder what people will say. A confirmed car fire or automatic alarm with a light smoke condition? It's always a good question because you know you got confirmed car fire versus automatic alarm.
And again, a car fire is a dumpster on wheels.
That's it.
And
that'll eventually put itself out too.
Automatic alarm with light smoke, again, you're going to have to think. You're going to have to look around. You got to pull your tick out. You got to check, make sure it's not a ballast, the HVAC unit on the roof.
Yep.
Could be a boiler in the basement. You might pull up, it's just a puffback. Or
could be something
in the walls. And you have work.
All right, so you're going automatic
alarm. I'm going
automatic
alarm with
automatic
smoke.
alarm with the smoke. All right, so because of the time that you have in, old school leather helmet or the modern composite?
I love an old school leather helmet, but the older I get, the heavier they get.
Exactly. So it's so funny because when I ask this question, everyone always says, "No, leather. We're gonna go leather. Go leather." But it's heavy. These things are they're not light. Those things are heavy. So it's just like might want to start looking at that modern composite.
I love a leather helmet. Right now, I currently don't have a leather helmet.
Okay.
I've got the Corwins Chicago helmet, which is the best helmet I've ever worn.
Okay.
For the weight and how it sits on your head, but if I could go back to a leather, I would.
You would. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. You're in as the officer. Sirens or horns? Which is your thing?
Both.
You're hitting both.
Yeah, absolutely. People got to know you're coming.
We got to know that you're coming.
Because nobody pays attention to anything anymore. They're making these cars too tight. Everybody's got their, including me, have my music up too loud, and everything. The combination gets you.
Yep. Gets the attention. All right. Midnight call or 5 a.m. call?
Midnight call.
Midnight call? Why?
Midnight call. Because I still have time, if it's nothing, to get a little more sleep in before work.
Right? So then that goes into my next question of day shift or night shift. Which one do you like?
I like night shift.
Night shift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Why night shift over day shift?
There's not as many people around.
Okay.
Granted, when you get the call at a house, you kind of know that there's going to be people there. But getting there is usually easier.
Much easier.
Because there's less traffic.
Yeah.
Greenport's a tourist town, so we've got people lining the streets all day long, walking, crossing without looking. They don't care if they hear a siren; they're going to cross in front of you.
Try to cross.
At least the night calls.
Not many people out there.
That dies down.
Got to ask this question too because of the time you have. Old school pager or the modern app alert? Which one?
Pager all day long.
Pager all day long.
Nothing beats getting that beep beep, getting woken up in the middle of the night.
With that,
my phone can go off, and who knows? It could be. Yeah,
I'm not ignoring that pager that goes off.
Yep.
All right, so let's keep going. You are, like we said, you are the captain, right? And there is a department critique that is going on at 10 o'clock on a Sunday or whatever day. It's going on 10 o'clock. It is 8 o'clock. All of your entire team is here. Do you, for those 2 hours, do another training, or do you have them clean the firehouse?
Clean the firehouse.
Clean up?
Yep. Absolutely.
Clean house is what you need. Clean house is
clean
what
house.
you need.
Whether you're just going to focus on the engine,
okay,
or the whole house in general. But yeah, no, because I'm afraid that some people, if you mention training, they're going to fade off and go out the side door. Yep. Cleaning, that might stick around because they can lean on a broom.
Yep.
Still be there, but not really do anything.
I'm just gonna clean this clock sink area.
Yeah, so they should still be there for the critique.
There we go. All right. Pick your punishment. Right? Summer heat and gear, or winter cold and wet boots.
Winter cold and wet boots.
The heat you're not doing.
Once you're hot, you're hot. You cannot escape it. If you're cold, you can warm up.
There you go. You can always warm up.
Absolutely.
Right. Because you're an EMT, we got to get into a couple of EMT questions that I want to ask. All right. So you pull up to the scene, right? And on this side, there's people doing CPR. On this side, pregnant lady about to have a baby. Chief says, pick one. You're either going to take over for this guy, start CPR, or you're going to help deliver this baby. Which one we're doing?
Pregnant lady with the baby.
Pregnant lady with the baby. Why?
Yep, because that's viable. Okay. You don't write anybody off, but the phrase is dead's dead.
It's not.
So yeah, I'm going with the pregnant lady with the baby.
Pregnant lady with the baby. Okay, let's keep going. Cleaning the ambulance or restocking the supplies in the ambulance? Which one?
Clean it all day long.
Clean it all day.
You're not trying to go restocking and
looking at expiration dates. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. Trauma call or medical call?
Trauma call.
Trauma call all day. Just
a lot more thinking involved.
A lot more thinking. Yep. Propeller with an arm.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be that much trauma, but yeah.
Doesn't have to be that much trauma. Okay. So within our game of the flashover for captains, and sometimes I do it for other people, but for the most part I do for captains and chiefs, we play another little game within it called Suspended or Not. Okay. So you need to tell me suspended or not as the captain, right?
All right.
But as the captain, I want you now to kind of put on that chief hat that you're going to be wearing soon, right? So you're at a call. You're the chief. 2 firefighters, all out fist fight. Suspended or not?
Suspended.
Suspended. Why?
Just because it's not a good look on the fire scene.
Yeah.
We already have our own black eyes that we're trying to get rid of.
That's right.
Might not be a long suspension. It could be just a couple days. It all depends on, once we get back to the firehouse, how their attitudes are and really what precipitated the fist fight.
Okay. All right. You pull up to relief. Let's say relief host. You pull up there, right? And you're the chief now, right? Because that probably will be the most difficult company to deal with when you're chief,
absolutely.
Right? You pull up, the entire front window busted out because they were playing Jedis with a pike pole. Suspended or not?
Suspended.
Suspended.
Absolutely.
No question about it.
No question.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah. Somebody
take some days for this.
Absolutely.
Got to take some days for
absolutely.
This. Okay. All right. You're chief again, right? You go to a call. You have words with one of the chauffeurs, whether it's your company or another company. You have words. Nothing. No one really noticed, but y'all had a little bit of a disagreement. Call is over. At the end of the call, you're walking past their rig. Wham! They lay on the horn, suspended or not.
No suspension, but you're definitely getting called in on the carpet.
You're getting called in. Because it's just rude.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
What are you doing?
Don't tell me you accidentally hit it with your foot.
Because that's what they're going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. I hit it with my foot. Like, come on. I'm not stupid here, okay? All right, let's get into some movies and TV shows. Are you ready?
Oh, absolutely.
Chicago Fire, Rescue Me.
Rescue Me.
Rescue Me. Rescue Me, Third Watch.
Third Watch.
Third Watch, all right. Third Watch, 911 or 911, whatever they call it. Yeah?
Third Watch.
Third Watch.
Yeah,
always.
911 is
911 is
just too hokey for me.
too much for
Yeah.
you. All right, let's keep going. Backdraft, Ladder 49.
I'm a backdraft guy.
Backdraft guy,
Yeah.
the Bible, you going with that? With that? Even though it's a little
Yeah, but still
exaggerated.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Not even a little, it's a lot exaggerated.
Yeah.
All right. The most important question I am going to ask you today, Bob, and I kind of know what the answer is. This is like a legacy here, so I know the answer. Engine or truck?
Oh, engine all day long.
Engine all the
All
way.
day
Boom,
long.
Let's go.
Yep.
That's right. Put
All
the wet
day.
stuff on the red
That's
stuff.
right. I like
Let's
fighting
do it.
fire.
There you go. I like to really fight fire.
Yeah.
So has there ever been a time where you went to like maybe fire school or something and you took on that truck role
Yes.
or even at a call?
Yeah, we have a tower ladder in Greenport,
Okay.
but it doesn't act as a true truck company because they don't have a whole lot of active members.
Okay.
So there's times where we're doing dual duty.
Yeah. We have
And
to go in and
You hang your head, but you go and you get on the truck and, you know.
and I gotta go in there. All right, so I got a couple more questions before we get out of here. Just in a whole, how has the fire, service, the volunteer fire service, changed your life?
It's opened me up to really helping people.
Okay.
You know, when you're a high school kid, you don't think about it. But once I got into the fire service, I started answering calls. I was driving the ambulance as a young member, and now it's like a natural reaction to help people. It's not, oh, you know what, should I help that guy or not? No, it's because the fire service brought that into me. That's what we do. I tell everybody the fire service is colorblind because our pager doesn't tell us anything other than adult male, elderly male, female. That's it. So we show up, we help everybody that calls. Right. Don't care, how much money you make, you don't make, whether you're homeless, whether you own a mansion, it doesn't matter. We're helping everybody. And, I've really seen that in the younger guys in my department that they're cut from a different cloth than a lot of the current generation. Because they're jumping right in there. No,
ready to help.
And it doesn't even have to be a fire call. If like my son was telling me the other day, he was driving down the road and he saw somebody had a flat tire, so he pulled over and he helped them. Because that's just what we do in the fire service. Doesn't matter that the pager didn't go off.
Yeah, you're there to help no matter what. I love that. So, last question I want to ask you is, if there's someone listening right now that is thinking about joining, or someone that just got in, they have like maybe a couple months or weeks in, what type of advice from a 35-year, 40-year member would you want to give them?
There's a job for everybody. Don't think that, I can't do that. Not every job especially the volunteer fire service is running in a burning building, driving the truck. We have a job for everybody. We need people to help on the outside of the building as much as we do on the inside of the building. We need people to help in the firehouse. We had fire police. If you,
That's right. Always looking for a few good men.
Yeah, if you're good at standing in the road and having people yell at you, we can make you fire police. So come check us out before you make that no decision. Yeah. Come to a firehouse. Okay, whose firehouse it is. Knock on the door. If they're around, somebody will definitely talk to you. Yeah. If you've just been in for a short period of time, firehouse is a rough place. Yeah, if you have thin skin, give it a little bit. Go talk to one of the members you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with your captain, but you're comfortable with your secretary of your company or your department, go talk to them. Sit down, say, hey, Joe's giving me a hard time all the time. I don't know if I like being here all the time. Don't just throw your arms up and say, you know what, that's it. One guy made me mad, so I'm leaving. That's it. Just stick it out, because in the long run, you're really going to enjoy it.
It'll be worth it. And one thing that we always would say, which I'm pretty sure every company says, but my company always says, it's the moment when we stop bothering you that you need to worry. Right?
Absolutely. I tell everybody that. If it gets quiet,
that's when you got to worry. If they're busting your chops and doing all of that, take it, because it's because they care.
Absolutely.
Right? But once we stop,
absolutely,
that's when you need to start worrying.
Yep. Yeah. When it gets quiet around the firehouse, that's when there's a problem.
That's when there's a problem. Okay. All right. So is there anything that I'm forgetting, Bob? Anything that you want to say or anything I'm forgetting? Before you even do that, can you just shout out if someone wanted to join Greenport, how do they join? Who would they reach out to? Websites and things like that?
Greenport Fire Department, our website's been up and down. If you Google us, you'll be able to find the link because we've changed from .com to .org or .org, so I'm not 100% sure about the website. My company, Relief Hose, has an Instagram page, which is relief_hose.
Okay.
I'm going to do a little shout out. October 12th, we're having a car show.
Okay.
And anybody that has, I don't care if it's your daily driver or sits in the garage, come on out, $20, hang out. It costs nothing to walk around. It's just $20 to enter a vehicle.
Okay.
I'm hoping other fire departments will bring out their pieces. I don't care if it's a first due piece or an antique. Bring it out.
Okay. It's not just fire rigs, right?
Nope. Anything.
So if you got an old school classic car, you can bring all of that.
Old school classic cars, like I said, from beaters on up. We don't care. Okay. We just want to come out, do have a good time.
I might have to come out to that. I saw it on your page, and then I'll put it in there. I know that I had another event, but hopefully that one will be done. Okay. And then I can kind of go over there.
Yeah, it's 9 to 1:30.
Eldorado that I love to go to car shows with. So I would definitely come out. Yep. Yeah.
It's 9 to 1:30. We never end on time. If guys want to hang out, we hang out, and it's it's a nice social event.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I definitely will look into that. And for our people that are listening, come on out.
Absolutely.
Come on out.
Absolutely.
Come on. Bring whatever. Just come on out.
And you can just bring yourself. We don't, whatever.
Just come out. Yep. Just come have a good time.
Yep.
All right. But is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Anything else that?
No, I think you hit everything.
We hit everything.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go, if there is one person that you would want to come on the show, shout them out right now. Tell them they need to be on this show.
My current captain, Sam Strickland.
Sam Strickland, you have been called down to the Firehouse. We are looking for you, Sam. We are looking for you. Come on down and tell your stories.
He'll see this.
He'll see this. Yep. All right. So Sam, listen, we want you down. All right. So again, Bob, thank you.
Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Thank you.
You have a great show.
Thank you.
I'm glad I found it when I did, and I listen to it all the time.
Great. Thank you so much. That, like we said when we were talking off air, like this show is about trying to bring the retention and recruitment to the volunteers.
Absolutely. And recruitment's
We're all hurting. So if we can all kind of get together, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, right?
Yes.
People are reaching out, asking where they're, on our Instagram and our social media handles. Hey, where's my fire department? Things like that. So it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. And I talk to anybody. They tell me, well, I'm not from Greenport. I'll talk to you about the fire service. It's all similar.
It's all similar. Where are you? There's somewhere. There's
absolutely.
A fire,
so it doesn't matter what town you're in. If you see somebody at a firehouse and you were thinking about joining in your town, stop in and talk to them because it's all going to be similar.
That's right. So true. So true. All right. Listen, thank you so much again for coming down.
Thanks for
and
having
just
me
telling, your life and your stories. And again, thank you for your service for your family, your entire family, mom, dad, wife, son, all of y'all. So thank you much.
Even my mom's been in the fire service because my grandfather, her father was a chief, so she was
in there.
Even though she wasn't at the building, she had to deal with him leaving all the time. So even the spouses are part of the family.
This is a family business for the Corwins.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Listen, we just heard from my boy Bob Corwin from the Greenport Fire Department about his life as a firefighter. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. I am your host, Chris Moses, and please tune in next week to another great conversation.